Southeast Asia has influenced my work by just actually being in that environment and seeing day-to-day activities, odd scenarios from being on the street to being in gallery environments to just everyday use of materials, and sometimes the highly, specifically in Thailand, the use of colour and the specific meaning, but also this sort of sometimes what we've perceived as wrong use of design and colour, etc. Figures sort of on the street, lived, and also the culture is very much about that. It's a lived culture and things are living through that. I think the mandalas reflect that as well through, it's like an experiential thing as well. When you look at the mandalas and the actual patterning and the symbology within it, but somehow it's this technological progression of that. Within it, I mean, I'm not controlling that so much. It's sort of an adapted ready-made, as I've spoken about, and I sort of changed the screen of it and the reception of it and the presentation of this. In terms of the viewer, it's sort of pretty open-ended because it's sort of, yes, I'm hoping for an overloaded or mesmerising experience, but in terms of content, it's quite open and things. And I've spoken to her about it a bit before in an interview. There's like, when they were showing in Kunstverein in Schwabisch as well. But some of the German people responded to it in terms of it being a mind control thing. And they found it as a sort of more of a, much more, less of an open thing, but more of it's like pulsating, and it's trying to control you in a certain mental space. And that's also interesting when you think of, like, on one side, when you talk about light works and light art and the whole bigger body, there's sort of the experiential side, but then there is this aspect of control in terms of what you do. You know, classic artists such as James Turrell, you know, sure, there's this whole experiential thing that you come across, but at the same point you're controlled in that room, that environment, you're dictated where you go, how you experience the whole environment's controlled. So there's this push-pull between that, between play and control. Yeah. My personal mantra is, it's a tricky one. I've recently sort of been like more of an abstract artist that's sort of like, and bodies of representation. I sort of am spending time in Germany and having a bit of understanding of the German language. And this is more of a play on things like the Zero Group, etc., and the whole going right back. And this notion of nothingness, and null is German for nothing, and I've developed my own ism, which is nullist or nullism. So making the belief in zero. And in a way, it's sort of also opening a space for not the ultra positive, but something that's somewhere in between. It's not necessarily the good, the bad, it's sort of somehow the collision of everything. That somehow everything implodes on everything. That our own existence transfers and rubs off on through experience. And I think that's, yeah. Be good to people, if not, keep away from them.